Yo, let's talk about what just happened in America yesterday, because that shit is bonkers. It's the Joe Show. Yesterday, there was an assault, an all-out insurrection, assault on democracy by the Republicans and Donald Trump, and we got to talk about it on my channel. I don't get political too often, but I do have some thoughts on stuff that's happening and how we got here. It's not really hard to see how we got here, though. In the US, there's two options. There's Republican and there's Democrat. You get one or the other. There's nothing really in between. There's independents, but come on. Come on. We claim that we have moderates and independents, but that ain't a party in itself, and it's really not a choice. You donkey or an elephant, Republican or Democrat. And the problem with this is that it's a duopoly. We're all familiar with monopolies. In business, it's where one firm controls the entire market. They set prices, they fix prices, they push out competition by either undercutting them through pricing or buying them up and just acquiring them so that they can maintain hold on a market. That's how a monopoly works. In the US, we have a political duopoly, which means you only get two choices. As a result, there's a growing sentiment of us versus them. We effectively have the knowledge, the entire knowledge of humanity in our fingertips all the time. At any point in the day, we can look up anything that humanity knows at our fingertips. In fact, we can request that information. Did the Egyptians use concrete?
The ancient Egyptians built their great pyramids by pouring concrete into blocks high on the site, rather than hauling up giant stones, according to a new Franco-American study.
What's the best way to cut a tomato?
Unless you have razor-sharp regular knives, a serrated knife with teeth that can grab and cut through the thin skin of a tomato is your best bet.
Yo, look at that. The Egyptians might have used concrete, and you got to use a serrated knife to cut tomatoes. Found that out like that. This is the power that we're talking about. And as a result of this crazy power that we have, everybody thinks they're an expert about fucking everything. But the secondary problem with that is that anybody can create a website about anything that they want. Which means if I get into a debate with my father, who may or may not be pro-Trump, when I show him some evidence that these people who breached the Capitol are terrorists, he's gonna go on some crazy right-wing website that has no verification whatsoever and find the fact that somebody somewhere said one time that they might have been an Antifa member. And then all of a sudden, the whole riot, the whole act of insurrection is negated because it was Antifa. Facts have just gone away. And to make this even worse, if I am also debating with somebody who is also left-leaning or a Democrat, and I say something that is a modicum of conservatism, that maybe the free market is okay in some situations, all of a sudden, I'm an alt-right white supremacist. And an additional layer here is social media, which puts you into a bubble of the content that you choose to interact with because they're doing it with algorithms. They're serving you content with an algorithm, which is a way of editing. They're editing content just for you. It is serving you exactly what you are going to engage with, which means if you are into pink elephants, you're going to be seeing lots and lots of pink elephants and content about pink elephants in your feed. Or if you might be, I don't know, leaning towards white supremacy, you're going to see a bunch of stuff in your feed that is white supremacist, and then you're going to keep seeing that, and that's going to be the reality that you're in. And if you continue to see it or hear it echoed on a mainstream media source like Fox News that is official in some sort, you're going to start to believe it. Now I'm talking to a person that not only has an us versus them mentality, but is living in an alternate universe. And this isn't just with politics, as I mentioned. It extends into everything from diets like keto to vegetarian to veganism to the gaming world with PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo to anime with Naruto and Dragon Ball and One Piece. Whatever it is, we're being divided so effectively by big technology and our ego of thinking we know what's best because we have a smartphone in our hands. You right now, you watching this, have a completely different reality than I do. If you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're seeing the world completely differently than me. And beyond that even more, our brains develop differently. And the way that we're taking in information and receiving it in our brain is also completely different. As I mentioned in some of my videos, people don't even think the same. Some people think in words, some people think in pictures. None of us think or act the same. We're all living in our own universe, fed by a bubble right here in the palm of our hands. That's what's happening. The only way that I can see this being fixed is with reforms such as, I don't know, trying out ranked choice voting. There's both benefits and downsides to it. I've read about it. I can see both sides, how it could be good, how it could be bad. But one clear advantage of ranked choice voting is that it does give people who aren't identifying with the main two parties in politics a chance to break in or be voted into office. It's not perfect. It's not going to work every single time, and no one's claiming that it is, but it could lessen this polarization that's taking place. Giving people more choice empowers them to not have an us versus them mentality so hard, because they can take compromise and they can say, well, if I don't like this candidate, at least I can vote for the second one. Maybe they'll end up there. They can empower some of my views, or they can enact some of my views or the policies that I want. And it gives us a little bit more room to debate than just left versus right, up versus down, red versus blue, whatever it is. Other systems are removing faceless people from the internet. There's been a movement to get videos in comment sections instead of just text, so that you actually have to take a video of yourself and put yourself out there to make whatever comment your is. Because when your face is identified with it, it makes it a lot more challenging for you to say some fucked up shit. And finally, some regulation of social media. It is 100% algorithmic editing, and it needs to be treated as such. That's it. That's today's Joe Show. That was just on my mind. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button, mash that bell, and engage with me in the comments. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this topic. And until next time, stay good, because you know it. I love you.